Most men think the first sign of aging is gray hair or maybe a sore back, but the truth is, for many men over 60, the very first red flag isn't visible on the outside. It's when something inside stops working the way it used to. I'm talking about your erections, your blood flow, and that quiet but stubborn tension you start feeling in your groin. That's not just in your head. That's your body waving a red flag. And the good news? You can do something about it naturally, without drugs and without expensive procedures. Hi, I'm Dr. Sophia Jain, a board-certified physician with over 2 decades of experience helping men restore function, confidence, and connection. Today, we're talking about real food, yes, actual things from your fridge or pantry that can have a massive impact on blood flow to the penis, your erections, and your overall performance. These are foods that not only support healthy function, but also reduce that tight, cramping sensation you may have felt during intimacy or arousal. I'll walk you through the top 3 foods that work with your body to restore circulation and strengthen the places that matter most. These are not miracle cures. They're not overnight fixes, but they're backed by science and real-world results. When used consistently, they can help improve how you feel and how your body responds. Let's start with the first one. It's a food you've probably seen at the grocery store 100 times, but you may not realize what it can do for your erections: beets. Beets are one of the most powerful natural tools to support blood flow, especially after 60. And it all comes down to something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is your body's way of telling blood vessels to open up, expand, and allow blood to flow more freely. That's critical for achieving and maintaining an erection. But here's the issue. As men age, the body produces less and less nitric oxide, which leads to tighter, more rigid arteries, especially in the pelvic area. Beets are packed with nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide naturally. So, what does that mean for you? It means better circulation, less tightness during arousal, and stronger, more reliable erections. I had a patient, 68 years old, who told me he started drinking beet juice in the morning after reading a study on nitric oxide. After just 10 days, he reported that not only did his morning wood return, but he also felt less pressure in his lower abdomen, like his groin wasn't tensing up the way it had before. That's because when blood flows properly, everything downstream functions better. And the beauty of beets is that you don't need to go overboard. One small glass of beet juice or even roasted beets with dinner can help replenish what your body's been missing. Now, if beets help start the flow, the next food takes it to another level. It's one of the most underestimated fruits in your kitchen. Watermelon. Yes, watermelon. Especially the part most people throw away, the rind. That white layer between the red flesh and the outer green skin contains a compound called citrine, which your body uses to relax and widen blood vessels. Think of it like nature's own gentle vasodilator. When blood vessels in the penis tighten up or spasm, which is common after 60, it can lead to a dull, heavy pressure in the groin or even make it hard to stay erect. Citrine helps reduce that. By supporting blood vessel flexibility, watermelon rind allows for smoother, more consistent blood flow to the erectile tissue. One of my patients, a retired bus driver in his 70s, started blending watermelon with a bit of lime and mint. He said it not only helped with his stiffness, but also made him feel lighter, more relaxed during intimacy. The tension wasn't gone overnight, but within 2 weeks, the difference was clear. Now here's the thing. You don't need to chew on the rind like it's candy. Blend it. Toss it in a smoothie. The goal is to get that citrulline into your system. And because it works in synergy with the nitrates from beets, your blood vessels get supported from both angles, expansion and relaxation. That's how you start restoring your erection power, not by forcing it, but by allowing it to return naturally. But we're not done. There's one more food, simple, small, and often overlooked, that packs a punch when it comes to the minerals your body needs for full, strong erections. Pumpkin seeds. These little guys are loaded with magnesium, zinc, and arginine, 3 essential nutrients that your penile tissue depends on to stay responsive. Magnesium helps keep muscles relaxed, including the tiny ones in your pelvic floor. Zinc is crucial for testosterone production, and without enough of it, everything from libido to stamina can take a hit. Arginine is another amino acid that boosts nitric oxide, working alongside beets and watermelon for that trifecta effect. When a man is low in any of these, his erection quality suffers. But when all three are present, your body has the tools it needs to not only get hard, but stay that way without strain or discomfort. One of my clients, a former construction manager, told me he started keeping a small jar of pumpkin seeds on his desk. Every day, he'd grab a handful. After 3 weeks, he told me the difference was like night and day. No more tightness in the groin, stronger wake-ups, and for the first time in a long time, he felt like himself again. That's the power of nutrition. And when you bring all three of these together, beets, watermelon rind, and pumpkin seeds, you're giving your body everything it needs to turn the tide. I call it the circulation trifecta because each food targets a different part of the system, and together, they create real, measurable change. Now, when you combine these three foods consistently, something amazing starts to happen. You create a ripple effect in your circulation, your hormones, and your performance. One food lays the foundation, the next one strengthens the flow, and the last one fuels the machinery. It's not about a magic bullet. It's about building momentum in the body so that every system starts working better, especially the one between your legs. Let's break that down. The nitrates in beets increase nitric oxide, helping open the blood vessels. The citrulline in watermelon helps those vessels relax and stay open longer. And the minerals in pumpkin seeds, magnesium, zinc, and arginine help reinforce the system and keep testosterone levels and circulation at healthy levels. It's not a trick. It's not hype. It's just physiology being supported by real, natural fuel. But here's something you need to understand. These foods don't just help with erections. They help reduce that creeping discomfort a lot of men feel during arousal. That dull, low pressure in the pelvis, that sense of tightness that almost feels like a Charlie horse deep inside. That's not normal. That's not just getting older. That's your blood vessels tightening up and struggling to let blood through. These foods help reverse that. They don't just force performance, they support it from the inside out. I remember one man, 74 years old, widowed, and trying to start dating again. He came to me, not because he couldn't get aroused, but because when he did, it felt tense and uncomfortable, like his body was resisting. We started with a simple protocol: beet juice in the morning, watermelon smoothie midday, pumpkin seeds in the afternoon. Nothing crazy. Within 3 weeks, not only did the tension go away, but he started waking up feeling confident again, like his body wasn't fighting him anymore. That's the difference between chasing symptoms and actually restoring function. And if you're wondering how to start using these foods without overthinking it, you're not alone. A lot of guys want to feel better, but they don't want to be in the kitchen for hours. That's why I always recommend a simple routine that fits into your day without adding stress. Because let's be honest, if it's not easy to stick to, you're not going to do it. So here's a basic day. In the morning, before breakfast, take a small glass of beet juice. You can buy it pre-made or make your own if you have a juicer. If you can't find beet juice, roasted beets with a pinch of sea salt and olive oil work just as well. The key is to get it into your system before anything else, so it has time to open up your blood vessels and energize your body. By mid-morning or early afternoon, make a smoothie with watermelon. Don't just use the red part, cut into the white rind too. That's where the citrulline lives. Add some lime, mint, even a handful of spinach if you want to boost the nutrients. Keep it simple. Blend it and drink it. No cooking, no complicated prep. Just let the citrulline do its job and relax your blood vessels from the inside out. In the afternoon, reach for raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. 1 handful. That's it. You can toss them into your salad, mix them into yogurt, or just eat them as a snack. This is your mineral insurance. You're giving your body the magnesium it needs to keep blood flowing freely, the zinc it needs to keep testosterone at healthy levels, and the arginine it needs to continue producing nitric oxide. This rhythm, beets in the morning, watermelon smoothie midday, pumpkin seeds in the afternoon, creates a gentle, powerful wave of support that carries through your entire day. You'll notice more energy, a stronger sense of control, and fewer of those strange moments when your body feels sluggish or unresponsive. And here's what's important. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to eat all 3 every single day to see results. Even hitting 2 out of 3 most days can be enough to turn the tide. Because it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. When you show up for your body, day after day, your body starts showing up for you. Now, let's talk about what not to do. Because this is where most men get tripped up. The number one mistake I see men make after 60 is expecting quick fixes from pills without changing their foundation. And I get it. When things aren't working the way they used to, and you feel frustrated or disconnected, it's tempting to reach for something fast, something guaranteed. But those pills, Viagra, Cialis, they were never meant to fix the root problem. They just override it for a few hours. They don't rebuild your circulation. They don't heal blood vessel damage. They don't restore your body's natural rhythms. In fact, for a lot of men, those pills start working less and less over time. And the side effects, headaches, flushing, increased heart strain, can be a real issue, especially if you're already managing blood pressure or heart health. I had one man in his 60s who came to me feeling defeated. The pills he'd relied on for years had stopped working. He said he felt like his body had betrayed him. But the truth is, his body hadn't failed him. It had been asking for support for years. All we did was shift the focus. We stopped forcing it and started nourishing it. And guess what? His erections came back. Slower at first, but stronger. More consistent. And more comfortable. And they stayed. That's the shift we're making here. You're not just trying to perform. You're restoring something deeper. You're removing the blockages that have been building up for decades, bit by bit, with real food and a little patience. And it's not just about physical changes. It's about the confidence that returns when your body starts working the way it's supposed to. That quiet sense of self-assurance that shows up not just in bed, but in how you walk, how you speak, and how you carry yourself. Now, let's get into your simple 7-day plan. This is something I've used with hundreds of my patients. It doesn't require fancy equipment, it doesn't involve complicated recipes, and you don't have to rearrange your life to make it work. All it takes is a little consistency, a few key ingredients, and the willingness to show up for yourself. Day 1 through day 7, you follow the same basic rhythm. Start your morning with beet juice. Just 1 small glass on an empty stomach. This wakes up your vascular system, primes your nitric oxide levels, and gets your circulation moving before you even sit down for breakfast. If beet juice isn't your thing, roasted beets or even beet powder mixed in water can work. The goal is to feed your system before the rest of your day gets in the way. Midday, around lunchtime, it's time for your watermelon smoothie. Include both the red flesh and the white rind. You can add lime, ginger, or even a little mint if you want to boost the flavor. But the real star is citrulline. That's what helps those blood vessels soften and expand. It reduces groin tension, that strange cramping or pressure that sneaks in during arousal, and it makes blood flow smoother and more natural. In the afternoon, reach for a handful of pumpkin seeds. Not salted, not roasted in oil. Just raw, natural seeds. They provide you with the 3 building blocks for strong erections: magnesium, zinc, and arginine. These minerals keep your blood vessels relaxed, your testosterone levels supported, and your nitric oxide flowing all day. It's like keeping fuel in your tank instead of waiting until you break down. Now, I'm not saying this plan is going to change everything overnight, but here's what I can tell you. By day 3 or 4, many men start noticing more sensation. That tightness in the pelvis starts easing. Their sleep improves. Some even report morning erections returning by the end of the first week. It's not a fluke. That's what happens when you stop forcing your body and start feeding it the right tools. I had a client who followed this plan after struggling with ED for years. He had tried everything: supplements, medications, even injections. Nothing worked for more than a few weeks. But when he committed to this 7-day rhythm, something shifted. It wasn't dramatic at first. He said, "I just started feeling more alive, like something had switched on again." And within 2 weeks, he was having regular intimacy with his partner, without pain, without pressure, and without pills. You don't have to wait for a prescription to feel better. You just have to show up every day with a little intention. That's what this plan is. Simple, sustainable, and powerful. You don't need a complete lifestyle overhaul. You just need rhythm. That's what your body responds to best, not chaos, not extremes, but rhythm. And while food lays the foundation, there's something even more important I want to talk about. Because this issue, loss of function, struggling with performance, losing that sense of connection, it's not just physical. It cuts deeper. For many men, especially over 60, losing erections feels like losing a part of their identity. Something quiet, but important. And for too long, we've told men to just live with it, to accept decline as the price of aging. I'm here to tell you that's not true. You are not broken. You're not past your prime. You're not done. I've seen men in their late 60s, early 70s, even men in their 80s restore their function, their confidence, and their energy without medications, without surgery, and without giving up. They did it by showing up, by taking small actions each day, by trusting their bodies to do what they're built to do when they're properly supported. It's not about being 20 again. It's about being strong right where you are. It's about waking up in the morning and feeling that spark, that quiet reminder that your body still works, that your desire still matters, and that you still have power. Real power. Not the kind that comes from a pharmacy, but the kind that builds from within. And let me say something else that doesn't get talked about enough. Reclaiming your erections isn't just about sex. It's about identity. It's about feeling like yourself again. When you feel good in your body, you show up differently in your life. You make stronger decisions. You feel more connected to your partner. You stop second-guessing yourself. That's why this matters so much. It's not vanity. It's vitality. So if you're sitting there wondering if it's too late, if you've missed your chance, I want you to hear me clearly. You haven't. You have more power, more resilience, and more potential than you think. All you have to do is start. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Because the truth is, your body wants to heal. It wants to feel good. It just needs the right signal. You've already taken the first step just by listening this far. That tells me something important. You care. And that's where every transformation begins. Not with perfection, not with discipline, but with care. The willingness to say, I'm not giving up on myself. That one decision changes everything. So, what can you do starting tonight? First, get your kitchen ready. Pick up some beets, a fresh watermelon, raw pumpkin seeds, maybe some pomegranate juice, and dark leafy greens. These are not luxury items, they're medicine, the kind your body recognizes immediately. When you eat them regularly, your blood vessels respond, your testosterone has room to rise, your energy returns, and your confidence follows close behind. Second, stop skipping meals. I see this all the time, men who try to push through the day on caffeine, stress, and grit, only to crash later. Skipping meals sends the wrong signal to your hormones. It tells your body to conserve energy, to shut down non-essential functions, which often includes arousal and sexual response. Regular, nutrient-dense meals tell your body it's safe. And a body that feels safe is a body that performs. Third, you've got to move. I'm not talking about crushing yourself in the gym or signing up for boot camp. I mean 20 minutes of walking, stretching, or body weight movement each day. This gets your blood circulating, loosens up tight muscles in the hips and pelvis, and helps drive oxygen into the places that matter most. Movement isn't a punishment, it's nourishment. Your entire system relies on it, especially if you're over 60. Fourth, don't ignore your stress. Chronic stress is one of the biggest silent killers of erections. It floods your system with cortisol, hijacks your testosterone, and tightens up the blood vessels that should be expanding. Take a few deep breaths throughout the day. Journal if you need to. Talk to your partner. Meditate. Even 5 minutes a day to check in with yourself makes a massive difference over time. Fifth, and I can't say this enough, prioritize sleep. Deep, restorative sleep is where testosterone is built, where blood vessels are repaired, and where your nervous system resets. A man who sleeps well is a man who heals. So shut down screens early. Avoid heavy meals late. Keep your room cool and dark. Think of sleep as your secret weapon for male rejuvenation. And finally, keep a sense of humor about all of this. Don't turn your health into a battle. This isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up day after day with a little curiosity and care. Laugh with your partner. Laugh at the awkward moments. Celebrate the small wins. Remember, progress isn't linear, but momentum is real. If you stay with it, your body will follow your lead. You don't have to do it alone. Thousands of men have walked this same road before you quietly, steadily, with more strength than they ever thought they had. You have that same strength in you, and with the right guidance, you can turn it on again. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. Your body is not a machine that's broken. It's a living, adapting, powerful system that just needs to be tuned, nourished, and respected. I've had men come back after 30 days of doing just this. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just consistency with food, hydration, light movement, and some intentional self-care. They looked different. They walked differently. And most importantly, they felt like themselves again. One man even told me, "I didn't just get my erections back, I got my relationship back." That's what we're talking about here. Not just physical changes, but a full return to vitality. So let me wrap with this. You are not here by accident. If something inside you is still curious, still hopeful, still wanting to feel strong, connected, and alive, then you're already halfway there. That spark is your signal. Trust it. Feed it. Move with it. The body follows the mind, and when the mind is clear, the body heals. Start with one thing today. Maybe it's drinking that beet juice. Maybe it's buying watermelon and slicing it up for the week. Maybe it's choosing sleep over late-night distractions. It doesn't matter how small the step is, it just matters that you take it. One honest step leads to another, and before you know it, you're walking with strength again. This is Dr. Sophia Jain, and I've seen it happen too many times to believe it's just chance. When you treat your body like it's capable of healing, it heals. When you feed it like it's alive, it responds. And when you trust that change is possible, it begins. You've got more life to live. You've got more passion in you than you've been told. Let this be the start, not the finish. Give your body a chance. Give yourself a chance. The results may surprise you.